Wow. I'm silent.
RGPR. 10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, ignition, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff.
Welcome to From Space to Code using NASA's data APIs with Kepler. Now, in space, sustainability isn't a choice. It's mandatory because you need to be sustainable in space. Otherwise, you don't have energy. Yeah, from space, we got solar panels, for example. We got all kind of things, mattresses, even the super soaker from the year 90s. And so we need sustainability also in space. But why? Yeah, we are not good in taking care of our world because there are things happening. We are not happy with it because of CO2, of course, rising temperatures, the sea life, and that kind of things. So, yeah, we need to search for another planet. But CO2, what is it? It's 1 carbon and 2 dioxide. And it's not bad because we all eating it. With bread, the CO2, when rising, it's popping up. When a Coke, you also drink it, so CO2 is not bad. It's kind of a blanket. So if you have a lot of CO2, you have a big blanket. And that's now happening because we have a lot of CO2. So it doesn't need to say it's bad, but yeah, we are looking to, with NASA, we are going to create an application with the NASA data APIs, and we are going to measure it with sustainability, how to measure your energy consumption and try to lower the factory and vehicle emissions. So the whole carbon life cycle, there's a whole life cycle, and we try to help a little bit there. Yeah, if you get it in water, it's even more bad because then you get a kind of acid, and that's not good for our world, I think. And we need to search for another planet. So we are going to look for in outer space what's there. Hi, my name is Turk. I'm living in the Netherlands. I love these kind of things like windmills, sustainability. Green Software Foundation champion, and I love to organize also Fox Days Amsterdam, and it's 1st and 2nd of April next year. But yeah, we are going on a mission. We are going to go to the moon together. So I'm going to give you some tools to show you the moon, and we're going to Mars, check if there's life. We are going to the asteroid belt. And at the end, we are going outside to an exoplanet. So is there life after Earth? That's the main question. But yeah, if you begin, then you begin mostly with the Big Bang. And Albert Einstein already did a lot of research on this because of the gravity, but he made one mistake, and that's like that the space is going stretching out, and he didn't expect that. A Russian guy said that, and Lemaitre, a Belgian guy, found out the Big Bang. So they found out the Big Bang like before World War I. So the question is there life on other planets? Who thinks that's life on other planets? Can I have a raise of hands? Wow, that's a lot. There's still like 70%, nice. I think so too. And we have maybe some evidence, kind of, not 100%, but yeah, how far you can go, right? And the question is, are we the only one? So first, let's go to the moon. And we are going to use the NASA data APIs. And it's just a website, api.nasa.government. You can generate your API key. And they have a wealth of open APIs. You can use all kind of asteroid APIs, exoplanets, so you can discover your tooling yourself or the exoplanets, Mars rover photos, and that kind of thing. So that's a lot possible there. So we are going to look at the astronomy picture of the day. So what we are going to do, we are just going to call NASA. Just keep it simple, right? So we are going to go to the space and we are going to create a space controller. Let's create one. So it's a Java class, so we call it space controller. And we are going to call that endpoint. And if we are calling a REST endpoint, then we're using the REST controller. And we have a request mapping, of course. We call it like space. That's already seeing it because I'm using Copilot. I'm also using live templates. I really love it because then you don't need to code all the time, and you're a little bit quicker because I'm not a quick coder. If we want to call an endpoint, we need to have a REST template to call the other party, an object mapper to marshal the whole responses, and a token that's super secret. And we need a constructor. And we are going to create a get mapping, and that get mapping is to call NASA at the end. So for that, we need an URL and a response. Oh, it already knows it, what I'm going to type. That's interesting. And I'm not just 100% sure. I have my live templates, and then we know for sure. We have a URL, and I want to have responses. And at the end, I want to return. I have a page helper, so page helper.get space, and with the planet response. And then we got something, and format a little bit, and it shows you a controller. So that's an easy step to call the NASA data APIs, and let's start it. Missing return. Oh, I need to return it, of course. So another time. It's always like, oh, is it going to work or not? But it worked, and we are going to call the NASA. And I already have a local host. And if we refresh it, we have something like this. We call it. I can also refresh it. It should be good. Yes, it is good. And this is the first picture we get from NASA. So we are calling their service, and we get stunning pictures. And that's pretty nice. And you can refresh. All the code is, by the way, on GitHub. So I'll show the link later. But these are things that, like, for example, a James Webb telescope or a Kepler made and give back to NASA. And we can just watch it. That's super cool, right? So next step then is going to the moon. So for this, NASA also have some cool website. I'm going to in-depth later on with the endpoint again. But we are going to Mars, or to the moon. And for that we have a cool website. And that's Apollo in real time. And you can just go to that website, and you have the whole moon space launch you have there. So every second, every minute.
Panel 6 and 9, PATCOM off. PATCOM going off. And my PATCOM going off here.
Can go to 7 seconds. And then you'll hear it like boom. Can it be a little bit louder like than in the movie? So the whole mission is in video and in audio. And that's pretty cool, but we can also search for things like, it has been said, right, the famous words from Armstrong.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
So that's pretty cool that you can just watch it and like it's actually happened. And so there are all kind of tooling we can use, of course, for that. And there's so much more to explore. So if the rocket is going to the moon, then it circles around on the planet and then go back with the sweep to the Earth. But the moon, yeah, we only have one moon, but Mars had two. Jupiter had like 67, Saturnus 64, 27, 14, 5 moons. So yeah, we need to be precious on the moon because we only have one. So we've been now to the moon, and now we're going to explore Mars, and actually tooling that we can look on Mars through a proxy, of course, because we cannot access the satellite once, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, imagine that you're going to Mars. In the past, you can ask, you can go in a row to go to Mars, and actually people wanted to Mars, but it's kind of red dwarf because of the dust and the iron dioxide, and it's a little bit like the Earth. And if you're there, the dark blue. If you see sunlight's dark blue, and it's similar to the Earth, solar of ice caps and that kind of thing. So there are a lot of similarities with the Earth there. And there's also a Mars rover driving there, and we are going to call that endpoint to call the Mars rover and see if there's life on Mars maybe. So again, we have, you can call the endpoint as some Mars rover photos, and you can call it, and we will do it from our endpoint. Just again, a simple endpoint. I'm not going to create a REST controller because we all, most of us know, I think. And it's just another URL, and we call it, you call it photos, and then you got something like this. And then you can get actually photos from Mars, like not like 5 minutes ago, but of the same day mostly. And you can see that it's mostly rocky and dusty, and it's you could live there, I think. But yeah, we will see in the future, right? So we are already to the moon, and we're going to Mars, and the next step is the asteroid belt. And we can also call the asteroid API, and it's giving some information about the asteroids that's coming to us. And that's a little bit frightening because there's also an asteroid coming at us called Apophis. And we are going to call it, and you can see like, hey, there's actually an asteroid that's coming our way. And in the past, they thought it will hit us, but now it's almost, it's a nearby miss, kind of, in 2029. And it's also a little frightening because, if you look at this picture, then you can see already, like, hey, there's it's an asteroid coming us, and the points are like the satellites. So it could hit a satellite. So that's a little bit frightening, or it's a near miss, they say, but there's something to watch out, I think. And we're going back to the keynote. So we going to the asteroid belt, and now we are going to outer space. And there's actually an exoplanet called K2-18b, and it's a planet about 124 light years ago for light years, and it has a star, a red dwarf, and it's nearby, so it could be potential life. So they did some research there, and it's a little bit similar like Earth, only it's bigger and more water probably, an atmosphere, and that sounds interesting. So let's find if there's a life. So if we click on this one, it's also from the science NASA, and we can already see like, hey, there's it's a potential rocky world, larger than Earth. Some people say that's like more watery, and it's dwarfing. It has a dwarf here, a red dwarf. So potentially they need to be closer to that star. So there's potential life there. So is there life? Yes, we think. So last May, June or something, they found some evidence, kind of evidence you can call it. They found DMDS, and that's only produced by life. So what they're doing, they're flashing the other, the planet. And then they see like, hey, it's taking some more time to get response back. And then they know like if it's like these around, then there probably is like a kind of chemical produced molecules. And then we know like probably there is life. So that's pretty interesting if that's, yeah. So they say it, yeah, not with 100% because we've not been there, but yeah, it's some evidence, I think. Yeah, NASA also have some other things like you can watch the planet. There's a whole exoplanet archive we can call, and we can call like the K218b, and you see that a lot of people already discovered this planet with different types and different reference. And you can see that it's like 2.6 planet radius, so 2.6 bigger than the Earth. But there's always a but. Because we cannot travel 124 light years yet. So we need to be a little bit careful on our own planet, and we need to measure. Yeah, we can do something in our work, measure our application's footprint. We can measure the energy. So we are going to measure our Spring Boot application. Who's using Spring Boot here? Can I have a raise of hands? Quarkus? Micronaut? Yeah, of course, yeah. Oracle. Nice. But still some people using everything. The majority was still Spring Boot, but a lot of Quarkus also. You can do also this with Quarkus, of course, create an application and then deploy it as a Docker container. Why are we doing this? Because there's also a law in Europe that says like, hey, we need to show how sustainable we are as a company, so people can see it like a financial report. And we're going to do that with Kepler, not with Johannes Kepler, the famous astronomer that invented like that they know like it's turning and the gravity and expanding. I'm not talking about that one. I'm not talking about the telescope, but I'm going to talk about Kepler to monitor our application's health. How does it work? It's a scraper with Prometheus, and we're using a Grafana dashboard, and we can use it for our own bare metal server, but we can also use it in combination with VM on older versions, so we can measure our energy consumption of our application. We are doing that with SDK-Man. Who's using SDK-Man here? Still? Who's not using SDK-Man? Yeah, more nice. But what is SDK-Man? I would just want to show you a shell tab. Like you can SDK list Java. So I don't need to think about like, hey, I want to update my Oracle GDK, for example, or Graal or whatever. You can just type it in, just like SDK install Java and then the version. So and we can also do it with Maven. So we can also do like Maven, list Maven, and I can see like, hey, I'm already behind. I should update. But you can also do this for JRelease, and that's also something we are going to use because I want to create a Docker image. And for that, I'm going to use JRelease because for my Spring Boot application, I don't want to type in Spring Boot something. I want to run it maybe in my Kubernetes cluster. So we use Docker there. So JRelease can help us with that. So we are going to create a JRelease file. You can see it? Is it okay? Yeah, it's a big screen, so I don't have problems with it. Nice. So what we are going to do, yeah, this is just some generic information like, hey, yeah, what project is, what license, that kind of things. Which Java version, I should update to the latest version, of course. And we have to exostep with the ensemble. And yeah, we need to create a zip file which the Docker, the JReleaser will use to create a Docker image. And I'm doing that with a Docker packager. And this one will create, with my command, it will run yeah, a Docker file. So I'm going to terminal, and I say like, you can do it also via Maven. You can have a Maven, oh, I don't want this, sorry. You can also use it in your build, like this is a JReleaser Maven plugin. You can also, of course, use it with Gradle, and you can create a Docker image on the fly. But you can also use JReleaser, like yeah, a daemon, and then you say like assemble, and we can also package it. And what it's doing is create an yeah, a package, and it's a Docker file. And in that Docker file, it's saying like, hey, I'm using this zip, I unzip it, and I run it. So what I did, I have on my other machine, I run my container with this application, and with, of course, with our application. So there's now currently no data. So interesting. So failed to fetch. Oh, interesting. Oh, probably there's something wrong here. Is it my, it's a disconnection pipeline. So let's check it again. And here we have it. So at this moment you can see your energy usage of your whole machine. And you can also see it per Docker image. You see all Docker images here. And we can measure our application's energy usage. And that's pretty interesting. We can also do a curl, and then with some heavy computation, curl, some heavy computation, and then you will see also that it's like shivering. We need some, wait some, maybe a minute or a few seconds, but you can already see that it's changing. Yeah, here you can see the spike. So now I'm doing so heavy computations, and you can already see like, hey, something happening. And yeah, we make it visible now how many energy we are using. And that can be handy for this kind of reporting or that kind of things. So yeah, it's a little bit in, yeah, we are exploring still because we are in the beginning of sustainability future life cycle. And yeah, we are discovering a lot, but the first step is to measure these kind of things. And this is one thing with Grafana and yeah, the dashboard. And that's pretty interesting. So we did a production demo. Everything was going good, so I'm very happy. But then there's a question: can I be greener in yeah, in my work? So that's always the thing that I'm thinking. Like, hey, can we do something to be more sustainable or more performant? Because sustainability is mostly the second argument. Because yeah, it's mostly if you say like performance, everybody's going to run, and if you say like sustainability, yeah, people won't run. So yeah, you also always need to have a second argument to to sell it a kind of. It's a pity, but yeah, what you can do is you can. Oh, it's interesting. We can have a treasure. Yeah, you can check caching, for example. Check your build pipeline. You can run a Maven as a daemon or Gradle. You can think about annotation when building, lifecycle management, profile, scope. So there's so much we can do to also improve our life, because yeah, if you use Maven caching or Gradle caching, it's going much faster, and yeah, you can do that via Spring Boot Starter, and you have an extension. You can also add it as a Maven plugin. You add the Maven build extension. And there's also tooling like to measure your profile. Just a quick, what I wanted to show is like you can also measure your build, like, hey, how many seconds does a plugin execution last? And then you can see like, hey, I'm losing 5 seconds here. Why is that? Probably because I'm doing some testing and that kind of things. And yeah, maybe I can skip it. That's giving some interesting insights that you can see like, hey, how fast your build is. And for that, I was using the Maven profiler. But there are all kind of tricks. Check. We can also use frameworks. One of them is JobRunner. Who's using Quartz here or something like that? Quartz? Or Spring Batch? Some more, yeah. So JobRunner can also run batches or jobs on certain times when there's a lot of energy. And then you can see like on 3 o'clock, you can see like it's most sustainable to run your application. And maybe also gain some money with it, because in the Netherlands you can earn money on certain times because it's negative. So that's also interesting. And coding. Who knows already something about PMD? PMD, a little bit, yeah. That's a plugin you can install in IntelliJ. Someone not using IntelliJ? Whoa, everybody almost, nice. And we can install the plugin and you can get a rule set, just like you can have it with Sonar. You have tools like SonarLint to check your quality. PMD is more about your performance, but also sustainability. So that's J-pinpoint rules. You can also download the rule set and it checks your code and can do an analyze for you how quick your code is and can do some extra things for you to make your application much more performant and sustainable. So, the key takeaways. The most important thing is with my talk is think about greener your work. Think about something you can pick up and make it better, because we're making a better world together, right? Monitor. You can monitor, for example, with Kepler. That can be handy. We can simplify our work with SDK-man and JRelease and have fun. Think about tooling, PMD, SonarLint. We have caching. You can also even cache on HTTP level. So there's much we can do, I think, and have fun. Why? To be more productive and help our next generation also, and think about the world, because we cannot travel 124 light years yet to go to the exoplanet. So thank you for listening, and thank you for joining, and have fun at DevVox, at the beginning of DevVox. Yes, thanks. And if you have, I have also stickers. Thank you.